Visual communication began with early cave paintings. We also see it in the Hammurabi Code, where it was further developed. One of the earliest examples is the Aramaic alphabet. It evolved into the Hebrew and Arabic alphabets. Later, it would become Latin as Rome conquered Greece. The Chinese are credited for the discovery of relief printing. They used this to write their written symbolic characters. They also developed movable type. Illuminated manuscripts were popularized in the 13th and 19th century. Minuscules were also developed in Europe under Charlemagne. Relief block printing and copper engraving became popular in Europe. This was easier with the alphabet than it was with Chinese characters. Soon after, printing became popular in Europe. Typography was merged with illustration, and typesetters scribes worked together. During the Renaissance, bookmakers created books with flowery accents and colorful vines. Books became a traded good sold by merchants. Due to printing restrictions in other countries, printing became popular in Holland. William Caslon worked with Benjamin Franklin to create an official printing of the Declaration of Independence. Information graphics also rose in popularity. The factory system developed during the Industrial Revolution allowed an explosion of typographic styles. Posters and advertisements became popular, and the invention of photography and engraving and painted illustrations were the best method to take a picture. The late 1800s saw a spike in private press organizations like Helmscott Press. William Morris, a designer, inspired many future designers to return back to Renaissance style methods. Ukiyo-e developed in Japan and was later popularized in the West due to economic expansion. It featured flat colors and organic shapes, which later became popularized in Art Nouveau. In the early 20th century, Fernando Leguer pushed the limits of Cubism into geometric shapes. Futurists experimented with expressive typography, and data worked with photomontage to manipulate photographic images. Emerging in Germany in the early 20th century, Plaka style reduced images to very simple forms. Post-Cubism became popular in the work of Austin Cooper. Around the same time, Russian constructivism came into being. Work by L. Lissitzky promoted social ideals in simple constructed forms. The style pushed harmony to its absolute limits with three primary colors and featuring horizontal and vertical lines. The Bauhaus formalized the principles of this style and constructivist movements. New typography by Jan Tschichold gave typography a purely utilitarian purpose. Modernism finally made it to America, and we can see this in the work of Lester Beals for the Rural Electrification Administration. The Container Corporation of America also supported artists led by Walter Pappke. The International typographic style favored grids and mathematical proportions, asymmetrical balance to achieve clarity. Swiss type designers Eduard Hoffmann and Max Mininger developed Helvetica. It had a balance and rhythm of negative and white space. In the United States, with the work of Paul Rand and an editorial design by Leo Leone's Fortune magazine, featuring bright colors and stark contrast. Around this time, we also see the corporate identity system being formalized. Here we see the work of IBM and the work for CBS. Conceptual images also came into popularity. Here we see Bob Dylan's poster inspired by Art Nouveau and Lou Dazinger's American painting for the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Postmodernism presented a departure from modernism. Type was very expressive and playful, and the images were layered to convey complex concepts. Due to the expansion of global economy extending to include new countries, we are beginning to see an international culture. Computer-aided drafting has increased the possibilities. Digital type foundries provide endless diverse typesets. We're seeing graphic design take on new frontiers, both in real space and virtual space.